So we talked before, so how do you feel that your 3 true road games prepared you for what you're gonna face starting in SEC play? And with that in mind is what might make Georgia different? What's their advantage at home, you feel?
Well, I think both of our road games were, one was a tournament and one was against another Power 5 opponent, but
In Purdue too. So
thank you. So, I'm thinking Wake in California, but Purdue. So we've been tested in that environment. Purdue had a great crowd. Georgia's going to be very similar. What makes it different is that it's the start of conference play. It's the first game, right? And every single one of them we play is going to be extremely difficult to win. It's what happens when you start a conference. But I think what we've learned is it's important to get off to a good start. I think we've learned how to drown out the crowd noise, and to play together and to what we did well outside of Purdue. What we did well in those games on the road is that we really executed our game plan and everybody was ready to go. So I think those are things that we've learned, considering this was a team at the beginning of the year we talked about needing to learning how to win on the road. I think we've made some good progress there.
And when you looked at the beginning, at the preseason rankings and predictions, so now all teams have played at least double-digit games. Do you feel the conference is weaker, or stronger, about the same, and where do you see A&M fitting in the conference?
Yeah, I definitely don't think our conference is weak at all. People said that last year, and we had 2 of the 4 in the Final Four and the national champion. I think that our conference gets better as the year goes on. Honestly, where do we see ourselves? Non-conference is a hard predictor, in my opinion, because conference play, it's a whole new season, and so everything goes out of the window. In my mind, everybody is 0-0, and every single night, if you don't come and bring your absolute best, you're going to get beat. So do I think that we have a team that can compete at a high level in this conference? Yes, I do. I also think if we come out and we don't do the things that we've talked about and stressed and made really, really important, we're gonna get beat. And so, but our conference is very strong. There's not a team on our schedule that we can look at and say that's a win. And it's why you come to this league.
What about Georgia having like tape on them from last year, but this year having such a strong non-conference schedule or record coming out of non-conference, just having that confidence going into the start of conference play?
Yeah, so Georgia's a really good team. Abe does a really good job. They run a 3-2 zone that is stingy. It's stifling. They're in the top 20 nationally in a lot of defensive categories. They've got several players. They play 10 or more players, average double minutes, and they all can score, and they do a really good job at doing what they do. They don't get outside of themselves. They stick to what they do, and they do it well. And so it makes it extremely challenging. They make it really hard for you to score. So we're going to have to make sure we take care of the basketball, not turn it over. I think, again, what we have that we didn't have last year is bodies. We have options, and that allows us to be fresh, to feel confident, and we've done a good job of playing together.
What do you feel like you've learned about your team in the last 10, 11 games that'll help you going into conference play?
One of the things we really challenged them with at the beginning of the year, and then even as we started playing games, was to develop a level of toughness, and I think we've done that. So I think we've got a team that's pretty tough. I think we have a team who understands what it is we want to do. They play well together. I've learned that we have a lot of options. We can score inside and out, and so that makes it extremely dangerous because you just never know whose night it's going to be. And so I think those are all things that we rely on. We rely on each other, and that help us go on the run we've been on and get these wins.
Well, how do you feel about going back to Georgia since?
It's the next game on the schedule. I mean, obviously, I was there for 11 years. It's a lot of people who live in Athens that I love dearly. It's the same question I get when I go back to Alabama where I played. There's a lot of people in Tuscaloosa I love dearly. It's the next game on the schedule.
What's been the biggest focus for your group just preparing for Georgia?
Well, I think obviously, we got so many things, right? You got to worry about attacking the press. And then once you beat the press, you've got to go against their 3-2 zone. And then when we're on defense, we've got to take away their options. Javin Nicholson's having a tremendous year. Zoisha Smith is having a tremendous year. They've got shooters. And so you spend a lot of time worrying about all those things on both sides of the ball.
Would you like to play maybe one or two more top tier teams, like a top 25? Because when you look at your schedule, I know sometimes a lot of limitations, but you haven't had one or two of those marquee matchups that, you're looking at a top 25 or top 30 team.
I think for where we are and the team we had, our schedule was perfect for us. Yeah.
Numbers, it looked like they rebound the ball well, and
They do.
rebound's one of your strengths. Is that going to be one of the keys?
That's got to be. I mean, they are, again, those are one of those categories that they're top 20, top 30 in the country in rebounding. I think maybe second or third in the league. They often rebound at a high level. They're athletic. They're long. We've got to make sure that we're boxing them out and only giving them one chance at the basket.
Do you still see the race, though? It's basically everyone's looking at South Carolina and LSU, considering what they've done in the past, and see where everybody else fits in.
Well, obviously, South Carolina is who they are, right? They're undefeated. They've put up over 100 points multiple times. LSU is very talented. And until someone consistently takes that away from them, South Carolina is the team that you have to beat. But again, right now, Georgia's who's on our schedule. We told our team that today. We talked about the conference as a whole, and then our focus is who's in front of us, and that's Georgia, and that's what we're concerned about.
What about a Hunter update? Is she going to play this year? What's her status?
We have no idea. We know we wanted to get her back in practice. That started with some drills just to get her going with non-contact, and based on how her Achilles reacts to that, we either pull her back or we keep her going. And there's been times that we've kept her going, and there's been times we've had to pull her back. So we're right at the window of having to make a decision because we don't want to obviously waste a year, but it hasn't been determined yet.
Does the practice, like your mindset going into practice, is there more intensity when you're going into conference, or do you keep like the same routine?
Our routine is the same, right? That's one thing that doesn't change. Like our intensity needs to be what it needs to be no matter who it is we're playing. If we wait till now to get intensity, we're in trouble, right? So our routine is the same. Our film session is the same. Our 2-day out, 1-day out, it's the same. Yep.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joni.